Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is about you in the intro, which is the final lesson in the intro before we begin Unit 1. So before we begin about you, let's revise the whole intro. Since it's the last lesson in the intro, let's revise the whole intro. First, we took in the lesson and we discussed about the debate between paper book versus e-book and TV around the world. We discussed the laptops and the smart TVs, unusual buildings in Mecca, working days, going green, and ecotourism. So this is the first one, the debate between e-books and paper books. Do you remember what does debate mean? Debate, yes, it's giving your opinion and hearing the opposite opinion from your friend. Paper versus e-book, which has been going for several years now. Nowadays, people are depending more on e-books because, of course, of the development of technology. Then we talked about ecotourism, going to natural places, going tourism in natural places, as we have here in Saudi Arabia, the desert, or you can go any other place. In culture and natural are often undisturbed location that lends itself to activities like hiking, climbing, rafting, etc. So this type of tourism is called ecotourism. Then we talked about unusual buildings. Of course, we have here this unusual building, the clock tower in Mecca is one among the tallest buildings in the world. You can see it from 25 kilometers. Have you seen it? For me, yes, of course, I've seen it a lot. Then we talked about TV around the world, about cable television versus the streaming services that we are seeing. Of course, the streaming services is more suitable to our lifestyle now. You can see the program you want whenever you want, unlike the cable television where you have to wait for the program to start. So which do you prefer, the cable television or the streaming service, or as we call it here, the on-demand viewing? So this here is called TV around the world. Then we talked about working days. Are you bored from your daily routine? Here he is bored and from his daily routine. Then once he retired, he misses his routine, and then he's suffering physically and psychologically, like we discussed before. Then we took going green approach, the climate change and the destructive consequences happened by natural disasters such as tsunamis, as we saw in the previous years, storms, hurricanes, flooding, and landslides. Then we took some new word meanings here, like the word debate, as I said before, a discussion between people in which they express different opinions. So a debate is different, having different opinions. So you can shorten it like this. An integral part, an important and necessary part, the location that lends itself. Lends itself means that it is good. Funds, when a company say we don't have any fund, it means that they don't have money. So funds means money. Conservation is the protection of animals, plants, and natural resources. So conservation is regarding the environment. And cable television, as I said before, from the word itself, cable television. Television is depending on cables. A system in which television signals are sent through cables rather than signals in the air. Discontinue. The word discontinue, of course, as I told you before, it's the opposite of continue. So what's the opposite of continue? That's correct. It's the end or stop. Subscription, of course, you know this word. You subscribe to many services these days. Subscriptions, an agreement with a company or organization to get publication or service regularly. Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's for money. On-demand viewing, available when you need it. From the word itself, on demand. Whenever I demand to see it, I will see it. Retirement, the ending of your career, the ending of your job. When you work for 30, 40 years, then you come to retirement. Timely, happening at the correct or most useful time. Prevent the implementation, as we said before, stop the use. Then we took the expressing opinion, feelings, preferences, agreeing and disagreeing. How do you agree and disagree with a subject? So you can say here, what do you think of? When someone says to you, what do you think of? He's asking for your opinion. You say, I think it's interesting, I think it's amazing, achievement, etc. Or they can ask you, what's your view on? What's your view? What do you think of this? What's your view on this matter? You can say, I'm not sure. When you say I'm not sure, it means that you're not 100% sure of your answer. You say, I'm not sure. I can see why. You're giving an explanation here, your reason, but I can't see eye to eye with. When you say I can't see eye with eye, it means that you don't agree. Even though you understand, but you don't agree. Don't think that's an interesting original, not really. We're on the same page here. As I told you before, when someone says to you, we're on the same page, it's not a literal meaning you're standing on the same page, no. When someone says to you, we're on the same page, it means that they understand you. We're on the same page, it means that they understand what they are saying and they are agreeing with you. I see your point. This is your reply. You say, I see your point. I understand what you're saying. But then you give your opinion. I have no doubt that your view is valid, but I personally feel that. So this is another argument. I have no doubt that your view is valid. I have no doubt that what you're saying is correct, but I have another approach or I have another opinion. I admire people who, but I can't seem to do it myself. You admire people doing something, but you can't see yourself doing it. And the last one, which would you choose? I prefer. When someone asks you to choose something, you say, I prefer. This is your preference. I think I'd opt for. I choose that. Then we took some expression meanings. We're on the same page. As I told you before, express strong or total agreement. I see your point. I see your point. Don't think that it's worth considering a different opinion. I understand what you're saying, but I'm giving a different opinion. Explain that we use this expression to express tentative agreement or disagreement. I think I'd opt for, as I told you before, it means that you choose or you prefer this option. Then we talked about libraries. We talked about libraries and the library at your school. And I told you, I asked you to think about libraries and what can people do there? What do people do in your library? Do you go to libraries at your school or maybe outside your school? Do you have a library at your school? Of course you have a library. Is it a lending library? Do they lend you books or do they don't? People can borrow books at a lending library and then return them after a period of time. You can lend a book and then after a period of time, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, maybe a week, you return it to the library. Then we talked about the modern equipment that you have at your library. For example, PC computers, printers, copiers. Maybe you have more equipment. For me, I have at my school a 3D printer. Yes, we have at our school. What do you have in your school that are considered modern equipment? Then we took the librarian and Hashim conversation. Hashim wants asking the librarian, could you please tell me? So he's asking now, could you please tell me where I can find biology books and research documents? So he's asking politely, could you please tell me where I can find biology books and research documents? And the librarian replied, what exactly are you looking for? So he's having a science project and he needs to gather information and finish within the deadline. Then we see after an hour, Ali and Hashim are having a conversation about the same topic. So Ali said, I've noticed you have to use a whole pile of books. Are you doing a research? So he saw a pile of books and he asked his friend, is he doing a research? He said, yes, I'm trying to. He is trying to. So he has having some difficulties. But I'm not sure I can do it within the deadline. I'm not sure that I can do it within the deadline. I need to spend days in the library reading and making notes. Of course, we listened to this conversation before. Then we saw the asking for and giving information. Asking for information or giving information or instructions. For example, here he said, could you please tell me where I can? So here, politely, you are asking for information or instructions. Could you please tell me where I can find the headmaster, maybe at your school? Please tell me where I can find teacher Abdullah, and so. Or you can say where the is, where the headmaster is, and so. Of course, in the conversation here, it said, go to aisle 5. Another way, what exactly are you looking for? So here is the librarian said to Hashim, what exactly are you looking for? So the librarian is asking for information or data. He said, it's a project that I need. Now we talk about asking permission. You say, can I? This is asking for permission. Can I photocopy? Am I allowed to? Can I go to the bathroom? You say to the teacher, can I go to the bathroom? Am I allowed to go to teacher Abdullah, etc.? Is it all right if I turn on the AC? Is it all right if I open the window? Here is the obligation, ability, and prohibition examples. You have to or need to sign. This is an obligation. If you want to take it, you have to sign. This is an obligation. What about to prohibit something? You mustn't. You mustn't. It's against the law. This is a prohibition. You mustn't take anything out. You mustn't take anything out. You're not allowed to. So mustn't and being not allowed, we studied that it's the same thing. And we took some alternative expressions. You have to sign, it can be replaced. You need to sign. Have to and need to are the same. You mustn't take anything out can be replaced by you are not allowed. So mustn't and not allowed are the same expression. Then we took the listening part. We listened to two speakers, Umar and Imad, and I asked you to find out about their relation. Are they friends? Are they brothers? Or maybe something else, instructor or maybe a student? And how do you know? And how do you know? Of course, we said that one of the possibilities is that they are friends, but one of them is older because he is giving advice. He is wiser than the other one. Friends, older to younger friend. Umar, the first speaker, must be older. Must be. We are 100% sure. Must be older because he advises Imad about what he should or shouldn't do and warns him about the consequences. So we figure out that that Umar is older than Imad. So they must be friends, but Umar is older. Or maybe that Imad is an instructor at a university or a college and Imad may be a student. So this is our analysis for the conversation. Then we took the warning or advice box, the warning and advice. You'd better, this is a warning, or maybe advice or a threat. You will do a better job, you won't, and as we took before. And we highlighted the expressions in the conversation. We highlighted the expressions, you would better, if you don't want to get into serious trouble, you need to, etc. So this is our lesson today about you. We have 4 or 5 questions. Let's read them together and we'll take them one by one. So the first one here is, how many hours a day do you spend studying during exams? During exams. So focus here. During exams. how many hours a day, the final exams, how many hours a day do you study during exams? Of course, you study during exams, but for how many hours? 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. You have to regulate yourself. You have to have order in your day and choose the best time to study. So do you study for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, more, less? This is, of course, is your answer. Again, how many hours a day do you spend studying during the exams? 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever the answer is. Remember to take a break every hour. Every hour, remember to take a break. So if you're studying for 4 hours, every hour take a break to maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Just walk around, move your body, maybe drink some tea, so you can free yourself from your chair and relax your body and your mind and your eyes from all the studying, from all this. I know you're trying too hard to study, you're trying to pass the exam, but remember, your body also needs to rest. So that's why to remember to take a break every hour. The second question, how do you feel at the end of an examination period? At the end of an examination period, the exams are over. Now you are waiting for the results. How do you feel at the end, at the examination period? Do you feel relaxed, relieved that they are over? Or maybe do you feel happy that you did so well in the examination? Do you feel satisfied? You are sure about your answers? Or are you worried? You're not sure about your answers. You think that you got some answers wrong. Are you nervous? Maybe you're sweating even. So how do you feel at the ending of the examination, the final examination period? You're waiting for the results. Of course, if you did well in the exam, you will be relieved and you will be waiting for the results at ease. But if you know that you didn't well, if you know that you didn't work hard, of course you will be worried and nervous. So remember, work hard and study well for exams. Work hard and study well for exams so that when they finish, you will be relieved, relaxed, while waiting for the results. The third question, which of the statements below do you agree with? Which of the statements below do you agree with? Give reasons. So once you choose, I want you to give me a reason. The first one, A, you'll do a better job if you stay up and work through the night. If you work through the night, you will do a better job. Or is it B, you'll do a better job if you get some sleep and work in the morning. So A is telling you to work through the night, don't sleep. B is telling you to sleep and get up in the morning, wake up in the morning, and work in the morning. So what do you prefer? What do you think, which statement do you agree with? Of course, this is up to you, your own preference, but for me, I choose B, that I'll do a better job if I get some sleep and work in the morning. For me, I'll choose B. I prefer to sleep and wake up in the morning energized to study more. The reasons are I sleep early so I can get some rest, my body can get some rest, my mind can get some rest, and wake up early, and then I will have energy to study more. So if I sleep early and get some rest and wake up early, I will be energized. I will have been energized. I will have the energy to even study more. And remember the saying, sound mind in sound body. Sound mind in sound body. So if you relax your body, your mind will be relaxed and ready to study more. The question number 4, what would you advise your friend to do or not to do when preparing for exams? When preparing for exams and you want to give advice to yourself or to your friend to do or not to do, what would they be? Of course, you have many of them. For example, I advise him to prepare well. You have to have your mindset for the exams well, mentally and physically. Mentally and physically to prepare for the exam, to eat healthy and get rest, to study hard. So during the exams and even before the preparation for the exams, you have to prepare well mentally. You have to be ready mentally for exams and physically, and eat healthy and get some rest, to study hard, to sleep, as I said previously, to sleep through the night and wake up in the morning energized and study hard. And also advise him not to sleep late. Don't sleep late, sleep early to wake up early, and not to eat junk food during the preparation for the exams. And that's it for today. See you in the next lesson, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.